그대여 그대여 그대여.
Brad Moore, the drummer for the now famous band Busker Busker, and his wife Danielle, a successful synchronized skating choreographer. Busker Busker, Brad's band, was the runner-up band in Season 3 of the Star Discovery program Superstar K. And Danielle's synchronized skating choreography kicked off the opening ceremony for the 2013 Special Olympics World Games in Pyeongchang. It's already been 5 years since the couple came to Korea to teach at a university in Cheonan. They say they fell in love immediately with Korea's welcoming hospitality and its wealth of opportunities. After struggling to fulfill their dreams in college in the US, the couple came to Korea, a second home where they were able to find their true selves. Brad and Danielle continue to rely and trust in each other to reach their full potential in Korea, the second chapter of their lives.
I'm kind of uptight and organized and
Join me,
responsible
Susan
and-
Lee MacDonald, and hear the inseparable couple Brad and Danielle tell their roller coaster story of love and dreams for the first time on Arirang's The Interview. First of all, I'd like to say hello and welcome to The Interview.
Oh, thanks for having us.
So this is Danny, yes?
Yes, Danny.
And Brad. And I'm Susan, as you know.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that you've worked with people from Arirang?
No, we've worked with them before.
Yeah, we've run into them a couple times, but not as much as we like.
Yeah.
It's normally a
It's
bunch
a,
of
it's a fun time.
like having used translators and stuff, but working with Arirang, the English, yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to kind of speak in English for an interview for a
yeah,
change.
we rarely get to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let me say hello to our audience and we'll start our show.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Susan MacDonald, and welcome back to The Interview. Today we have two very special entertainers here on our show. We've got Brad Moore and we've got Danielle Bacon. Brad has become very famous here in Korea from his work with Busker Busker, but the two people that we have seated right here are just a dynamic duo of just lots of fun, love, and they've got incredible experiences here in Korea that they'd like to share with you. And there's a lot more behind their story. So let's get to meet Danny and Brad. Like I said, I'm just super excited to have you guys here on our show. We've never had a couple come on together. We've had a person with their spouse come on kind of halfway through, but we thought that your story was so special that we really wanted both of you to be here. Tell us about the fact that you guys recently got married. Yes?
Yeah, we did. We did recently get married in August, actually.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And we got married here in Korea, so it was a lot of fun because we did we wore hanbok and everything for the wedding. And
Nice.
yeah, our families came and they wore hanbok as well, which was really exciting for them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you decide to do a traditional Korean wedding?
Just why not? Like, we're not very traditional people, so we weren't ever really interested in having a wedding, but being here, we're like, the hanbok is so beautiful, and why not? It's just, let's do it.
Brad, what did you think when you saw Danny in her hanbok?
I always giggle when I ever see anyone in hanbok. It's
That looks good.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
it's really an interesting a traditional dress, but yeah, it is so beautiful. But once you put it on, I mean, it's
Uncomfortable?
beauty is pain
Oh, yeah.
with traditional Korean clothing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean everything down to they have special hanbok socks that they kind of remind me of like what the Munchkins would wear on Wizard of Oz. They come to a
Yes.
point, and so with our big, white foreigner feet trying to squeeze in, it was quite painful. And even so, at the end of the night, you could see like. At the end of the night, all the white people were just
We're
like,
like wincing, yeah.
Yeah, we're like tiptoeing around, like wink, winky out of it. But they're so beautiful from the outside, but yeah, internally it's...
And I imagine that you took tons of photos and videos and all that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We had the photo book and everything that we mailed it home, so everybody got to see that. And our friends came. We've made so many friends throughout the years that we've been here.
Yes.
So we just had people from all different periods of our Korean life, which was really great.
So now you've spent some time here in Korea. You're not just newcomers. You've been here for about 6 years. Is that right?
Five maybe? Around 5?
Yeah, 5 years.
About 5 years.
About 5
okay.
years, yeah.
So tell us about what first brought you here to Korea. What was the charm of Korea at that time for you?
Well, we just graduated and we were jobless and we really wanted to have a job together, but we had completely different majors. And so, you know, we were thinking about what could we do. And I really wanted to travel abroad. And so, you know, I started just job searching. Like our university has like a career services website. So I just started searching and Korea popped up as an opportunity. And, you know, I talked to him about it. He was up for it. And so we just applied and it just, I mean, it just kept rolling and we ended up here.
Before we kind of continue on with your personal life stories, I would like to kind of talk a little bit about, you know, how you became as well known as you are. I mean, people know you too wherever you go in Korea. Tell us about this Busker Busker group of 3 folks, but I understand that it didn't originate as a 3-person group, that it started from a busker art group with many people that a lot of people could join. So tell us about how you got onto the show.
The Busker Busker Art Group is a group of students from Cheonan. Cheonan is south of Seoul, and it's where we first moved, and there's at least 15 universities in Cheonan. So, I mean, it's like a commuter town of universities. So it's college kids everywhere. And so a group of them started Busker Busker Art Group, and it was made up of web designers, caricature artists, musicians, and just all kinds of designers and artists, and they were all of our students. So we started getting involved with them, and we became part of like the whole cohort. And so, I mean, we did festivals every weekend, just art projects around Cheonan, anything that we could do in Cheonan.
Now, did you have to audition for this group? Did you just join if you were an artist?
Oh no, anybody was welcome.
We took anybody.
Yeah.
So
if I were a student at that time, I could have joined Busker Busker Art Group. Okay.
Yeah, and I joined. I was a teacher, but you know, and I didn't take art or anything like that. But just however you can help out and
anyone that can help out. Because the main thing that the biggest task in the group was before we'd hold a festival, we'd have to clean. And so
the parks were so dirty.
It was so dirty, so we'd have to go early in the morning clean up. So if you're willing to clean, you're in the group. And that's all it took. Yeah. And so we'd go there and clean, and then the next week it would get dirty again, so we'd clean again.
So you're doing a community service as well as doing a kind of concert / gallery / kind of a cultural exhibition of sorts. Okay.
That's exactly what it was, yeah.
And how did they come up with the name Busker Busker? Do you know?
When we first met them and they talked about the Busker Busker Art Group, my first question was, what does the word busker mean? I hadn't heard that word. I don't know if it's an American thing for not knowing that, but our European friends, they knew the word as a street performer. And so the Koreans explained to me that it's a street performer. So it's just like street performer, Busker Busker.
Okay.
In Korea, they kind of like to do like, you know,
the double words
the double
together.
word thing, to emphasize it. So, so the whole art group is Busker Busker.
Right, and the concept of the group was to be spreading street culture. So that's why they use the word busker.
Okay.
So that's where we did it. We did it in the park. We did it out in the streets. It was always, downtown in that area. So that was the whole concept of it. Yeah.
So then take me through the steps of how you guys ended up on this Korean version of American Idol X Factor known as Superstar K.
The season 3 was the first season where they were going to have groups and bands. And they had heard that down in Cheonan that we had started a little band. And which sounds maybe weird to Westerners that they would call a band to audition, but really band music in Korea is not popular at all. And so they knew there were some young kids, maybe there's a foreigner in the group, so they just called. They were just fishing. Can you guys try out? They just called us to try out. So they called us, and we went and tried out, and kept passing and passing.
Now, did you ever feel during that time that you ever really had a shot for winning or being runner-up?
No. Yeah. Our only goal was to get Bumjun, our guitarist, guitar on screen. He had the URL of the Busker Busker group, our neighbor cafe. So that was the only goal, was get that guitar on screen. And so anytime cameras would come around, we would kind of tilt the guitar, towards the cameras to try to get it. That was our only goal.
I see.
Because we just wanted people to come and listen to music, buy some art, get caricatures, just have fun. Just have fun in the park. And so that was our only goal. So yeah, so some of the early shots are us just kind of like shamelessly like putting the guitar up right to the camera, just try to get it in. But no, making it to Super Week, we thought was an impossibility.
Wow.
Making it to top 48, impossibility. Top 10, impossibility. And eventually top 2. I mean, I would have called you a straight out liar from the beginning. Like it's
Every time they finished, like he would call me. I'd be like, we passed. I'd be like, really? He goes, yeah, we passed.
I was like, that's weird, right? They want us to come back and play again.
Is it because you you see yourself not as a performer and not good enough? I mean, I think that from the album that I've listened to, I love your album, by the way. It was fantastic. But I mean, is it because you just are such a perfectionist that you didn't think that you were good enough at that time? Or what is it that made you feel that you weren't good enough to win?
I think for me, it was because we had the group and they were playing that music out on the streets and we couldn't get people to come participate. So, I mean, there was really no reason to expect that the music would be obviously we loved it. We thought it was great.
Yeah, we always loved the songs. But over the past couple months, we had got to know the songs and loved them so much that we were surprised when people would walk by us on the street, not throw $1 in the in the hat or anything. They would just walk right by. They didn't value the music. So if the regular Korean citizens didn't value it, how on earth could we make a career out of this?
I see.
Because when we heard the music, when we listened to the music, it's amazing. I mean, it sounds like album music, but we were playing it for months in the park, and no one gave us any mind. Yeah, but so that's why we thought Koreans don't like it. And so when we kept passing, like all 3 of us, every time we passed, we're like, really? Okay, all right, see you next week. That's really strange. Like we were really surprised. Every week we thought we were going home.
Wow.
And we were happy with it.
Yeah.
As long as we got the guitar on screen. You had to get that URL.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
So once you got from the main auditions and then kind of went up that rung, the ladders, then you got to the top 11. And you knew that you had kind of at least made it to the finals. How did that feel for you guys? And also, did you realize that the entire nation was watching you guys?
No. They told us. But once we were on the show, we were kind of locked in a house.
Oh.
So we'd get some whispers like, you guys are popular. Your song's at #1. And we're like, what? Like, because we didn't have phones, we didn't have internet, didn't have credit cards, so we didn't know what was going on.
Wait, stop for just a second. You were locked in a house? What does that mean?
Put in
you guys
isolation.
Well, how the show works is every Friday there's a live show, and so during the week they shoot, in the broadcasting term, VCR, the pre-recorded stuff to show during the live performance. And so the VCR couldn't be leaked, so we had to be in a really tight circle, and we had to be shipped outside of Seoul just so people couldn't see us and get an idea of what was coming up next on the show.
So you were totally secluded and unable to communicate. Now, were you able to communicate with Danny?
No.
For how long?
It was
9
months.
9 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a really long time, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And we didn't know that, obviously, when he left. They didn't explain that to us, so he just kind of left one day, and then
Just didn't come back for
never
9
came
weeks.
back. Yeah.
I just didn't see him again for a
Wow.
while, and so that was really hard.
Yeah.
Now, did anyone explain to you afterwards that he is going to be away for a long time?
Yeah, well, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Eventually, I was like, okay, I think I understand how this works. But yeah,
Wow.
he didn't know. We didn't know they were going to take the phones away. So,
Wow.
I just said, call me when you get there, and we'll see how things go. And I think they did. They like let you make a phone call to kind of like update me, like this is how things are going to work, while you're here.
Yeah.
So like I did, but that was a couple days later. Yeah, so it was rough.
So take me to the final stage, because everyone in Korea at that point was just clamoring to hear you guys, and people were leaving their cars in the streets basically to watch that show. And what was it like for you at that final stage?
We were ecstatic. We were so happy to be able to go home. Us and Ulala Session. Everyone kind of got the feeling from the beginning that Ulala Session was going to win. And we were happy for him. We loved the guys. So we were all fighting for second, third, and fourth place. And so we just kept passing, and I expect to go home every week. So we got to the final thing. I'm like, man, it's been 9 weeks, and tonight it's all going to be over. And so that day was our best day
Oh, wow.
of the whole 9 weeks.
Wow.
Even Ulala Session would agree. The whole 9 weeks.
Because you knew that you were going to be going
Because
home
we knew we got
and seeing
we
your
got
wife.
to, we got to go home. We called it we called it cheonnan. Cheonnan had been kind of our synonym for the way things used to be. Kind of like heaven. Like we're going to turn back the clock and go to cheonnan. That's where we're from.
It was 9 weeks of waiting for the next week.
Wow.
But the last stage, the final stage, we knew it.
Yes.
It didn't matter how it ended tonight,
Yes.
it was over. So I mean, I was in the audience, like I was ready to see him. So as soon as like the celebration happened on stage, I
Yes.
ran up there and he pulled me up on stage.
Aw.
And then we were like attached like this, like you couldn't pull us apart until like the whole rest of the night. We had to go out to like an after celebration and stuff,
Yes.
and we were just like right next to each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
that must have been such a sweet reunion for you guys.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt like a bit of normalcy again.
Yeah. And as a result of that show and you're being on it, but more really because you guys are fantastic musicians and made an incredible album, everyone in Korea knows who you are. And that must be really a unique experience, because I imagine that because you didn't start off, pounding the pavement and going to agencies to try to become famous, and it just all of a sudden came to you, I'm just curious how that affected you.
Yeah, it kind of, after we got off the show, we're so protected, and after we left the show, it kind of slapped us in the face pretty hard. Like we had no idea. Like it was quite a shock. And I remember right after the show, we had to meet up at a shopping mall, and so I mean, like when we went home, we slept for days. Oh, we're so tired.
he was so tired.
So we slept for days and ate all the foods we couldn't eat in the house, and then we had to exchange a gift that me and Danny had gotten Bumjun, and so we're like, okay, guys, meet us in the mall. And he goes, okay, I'll meet you there. I'll bring in Hyungtae. I was like, cool. So after a couple of days, we meet at the mall, and the mall goes crazy.
It was instant chaos.
I mean, yeah, people grabbing, running, pictures everywhere.
Wow.
The security guards were even confused, like, who are you guys, and why are you ruining our mall? We're sorry, we just want to exchange the hat. So we go exchange the hat, and then when we go to leave, I mean, the crowd of girls is just building. And so we eventually had to run home. It was about a block and a half that
to our house.
we sprinted, all four of us,
Wow.
just back to the safe haven of our home. And then we
locking the door.
Was that scary for you?
It was.
Oh, it was scary.
And a little scary, because they would like grab us, like grab our shirts and stuff. And I don't know,
Wow.
maybe it's like the American bubble we have, but
Yeah.
but like when they would grab us, it was a little scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the four of us sit in our home that day, and we try to we have to reevaluate everything. Everything's changed.
It was like a moment of like we got inside, we're like, okay, we're safe. Then we sat down and we all like caught our breath. We'd been running, and then we're like, okay, things have changed. Our lives are different now, and
We have to make a plan.
Now, aside from fans, did you ever feel that people that you had worked with the show, or maybe other broadcasting people, ever felt that they crossed the line, so to speak, or made you feel in any way like you owed them for your success? Or did you generally have good relations with the people that you worked with?
It's a mix, but yeah, when after we released the album, because basically between the show ending and the album release, we were basically just not in seclusion, but we're just doing our own thing, writing the album and recording the album. And we're all pretty amateurs when it comes to music, so it was a bit of a headache in the studio, but we figured it out.
And that was completely composed and prepared by you all, right?
Yeah, that was
just three of you.
Yeah, that was all. We made sure that was in the contract, that we chose the producers, we play our own instruments, because it would be been a lot easier if professionals came in and played our instruments for us. And so but we said, we'd like to try it ourselves, and our company agreed and said, yeah, go for it, but do it well. So we said, okay. So yeah, so we did it. We did our best. But then once the album released, and it blew up, and it was everywhere.
Number one.
Yeah.
yes, number one.
For a couple of days, it was 1 through 11, all 11 tracks.
Wow.
Which was really cool. And which is my favorite part about this whole thing is my biggest accomplishment is one of the tracks is only a whistling track of me whistling. And that stayed that was in the top 10 for a while. So my whistling is independently a top 10 hit.
That is so cool.
It's only like 30 seconds, but it's just a whistling track.
Yeah.
And that made it, so that's my proudest moment, that my whistling got us in. I pride myself on my whistling.
Yeah.
I'm a much better whistler than I am drummer.
Is there a possibility of us hearing a little bit of that whistling?
Oh, let's go more here, yeah?
Yeah.
The-
I'd like to switch into talking a little bit about your skills as a drummer and also what you have done for a living for quite some time. From what I understand, you are a professional ice skating coach, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, you've got these gorgeous gams.
Thank you.
I'm a little jealous. But so you've ice skated all your life, you've been athletic, and what are you doing now as an ice skating coach here?
Well, I specifically teach synchro skating, so it's like a team sport.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is I have 2 synchronized skating teams. I have like a younger team, they're 10 to 13 years old maybe, and then an older team, more like 14 to 16. And so they're kind of my pride and joy is like I put all my effort into that, you know. And it's hard work, like organizing a team like that, especially with the language barrier.
Wow.
But that's basically what I do every day. I'm thinking about new concepts, you know, what can I do for them, new program ideas.
It's 6 a.m. at the Lotte World Indoor Ice Skating Rink located in Jamsil, Seoul. Danny, who choreographed the opening ceremony for the 2013 Pyeongchang Special Olympic World Games, is teaching her students, and her class is all being caught on tape by none other than Danny's husband, Brad.
I come with Danny every day and basically do whatever the team needs. Sometimes I film, sometimes I just hang out with the other skating moms or
Brad often comes along for Danny's early morning classes. This is how they can begin their weekend together.
we work very well as a team. Independently, we're not so successful in Korea.
Brad and Danny say that they give each other strength. Not even the languor of weekend mornings and the cold winter morning air can keep them apart. The class wraps up at 9 a.m. and the couple go immediately to Brad's practice studio. Danny has always helped Brad with his music. When Brad plays, Danny records audio that they can monitor later. I wonder if it's a challenge for her.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's not hard because it's things that we like. You know, I really like teaching skating and he really likes drumming, so you kind of don't even notice the time pass. I like that one you had at the end.
Oh yeah.
Here's the original track.
And then he's listening to this through his headphones, and he plays the drums, and I record it, and then we can listen to the tracks together. So the quality is not so great, but... So we're adding the drums in, and we can do different versions, and eventually we decide which one we like, and then he practices that version.
I knocked out the spike.
They always encourage and compliment each other, but they are also unafraid to offer constructive criticism. Although they are specialists in different fields, they are each other's most important partners.
I've played shows before, like you kind of
Suddenly, we were curious about Danny's drumming skills.
The diameter's not that big.
Yeah,
You can try this, just a basic thing.
maybe. It was a really long time ago, right? But I can try if I remember. Changes? So. Oh, that's the same. Okay. It's so hard.
Yeah, we try to do the stroke speed.
Yeah, that was way too hard. I can't.
On the bass.
Oh.
Just
No, that's too hard. I have to use this one too. I can't. I can't not do something. I don't know how you do it.
you need to.
It's impressive.
She's a fast learner, much faster than me. It took me, since I didn't have lessons or a teacher, it took me maybe a year to get to her level. So yeah.
I remember you taught me the Weezer fill.
It's been a while since Danny's picked up the drumsticks, but Brad seems happy and satisfied watching her play. And with that, their busy morning finally winds down.
So you're thinking for Monday that'll work?
No, Thursday.
After a busy morning, the couple head to a Korean restaurant to have lunch.
Yeah, bibimbap.
I think I want bibimbap. Do you want mandu?
Yeah. You do yoga, you do.
여기요. Is that okay?
That's good. Yogi-yo.
Brad and Danny have no problem choosing what to eat. They're regulars here, thanks to the restaurant's great vegetarian Korean food.
Lemon.
Yeah, we both like Korean food a lot. As long as it's vegetarian, we'll eat it. And our favorites are probably sundubu, cheonggukjang, cheonggukjang, bibimbap, and any mandu that has, or dumpling, any dumplings that have no meat in it.
We like this restaurant because it specializes in bibimbap, so it has a lot of vegetarian food, and they have a tofu dumpling, which is really nice. Where a lot of other restaurants don't have that, so that's why we like to come here. It's a good restaurant for vegetarians.
Bon appetit! This is bibimbap, a Korean dish that mixes rice with various vegetables. And these are dumplings filled with tofu, chives, and cucumbers. Korean food is perfect for Brad and Danny because it's made with vegetables and rice. After 5 years in Korea, they are now used to the food and to using chopsticks. They've slowly come to integrate parts of Korean culture into their identities.
If I never had started a relationship with Danny, I wouldn't have come to Korea. But yeah, my whole life, everything would be different about my life.
I hope we're happy in Korea. I hope that it continues to be that way. We have a lot of opportunities here to meet new people, have new experiences, try new things, and I hope that continues.
Brad and Danny trust in each other as partners as they build their careers in Korea. Their life in Korea has been a roller coaster ride, suddenly changed with national fame. But as long as they are together, they'll enjoy the ride and be able to take yet another step forward to achieve their dreams, holding hands all the while. You have worked as an ice skating coach, and you're doing this professionally here now. Yes. And you have been working as a musician, drummer for quite some time. How did you get into drumming or percussion?
I got into drumming. My brother was a snare drummer in a marching band. So in our house, we always had a snare drum around. So I could always like play on that. And then in the 9th grade, I met these 2 guys that I really wanted to be friends with. They were like into rock music, punk rock music. And they both play guitar. And so I was like, I bet if I can play drums, they'll let me be their friend. And so I was like, come over to my house. I got a drum. I had a snare drum. And so they came over, and I'm just beating on the snare drum, and they're playing guitar. And that just kind of started everything. So I just started from scratch. My brother tried to teach me some snare stuff, but like the hardcore technicality stuff I'm not so good at. And so I saved up, got a job, saved up for a crappy drum set. And we just started a rock band in my basement. And I was just completely self-taught. I would go in the basement every day and just practice as much as I could, and my parents allowed me to, make all kinds of racket at night.
So how does it feel to take this this kind of hobby / interest / passion of yours and do it as a full-time job? Because you also, you both came here as teachers and then worked as professors, and now it sounds like you're doing what you really love to do. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's interesting because we are both doing like our hobbies, right? I mean, we came here, we got master's degrees in teaching English as a second language, coming here planning to do that. And then, I'm teaching ice skating and he's doing drumming. So definitely would never have expected that, especially, I started ice skating when I was like 8 years old, maybe. Never thought, this is going to be my job someday and I'll be doing it in a foreign country. So I think it's really special that our hobbies have been able to take us to a place like this and do it as a job.
It kind of personally keeps me on my toes because like it's such like a dream, like it could slip away. So we're like saving all of our money because like this isn't going to last. Like we're going to be, you know what I mean? We're going to get thrown down to the bottom again, you know what I mean? That's how it feels. Like it doesn't make sense that someone would pay you for what you would do anyways. Yeah, it's quite strange.
I'd like to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the work that you did with the Pyeongchang Special Olympics. Right. So how did you get connected to working with the Special Olympics in Pyeongchang?
Right, well, that's an interesting story because my older team, they got picked as, it's for the opening ceremonies. They wanted to create the big opening ceremonies, and they had like a little ice rink that they had as part of the ceremonies, and my older team got picked as the skaters for that. And so they kind of came to me and said, we don't have anybody who knows how to work with team skating. Would you mind choreographing and directing, the ice portion of this?
Oh, wow.
And so, and it kind of, like, when they first introduced it to me, it was kind of a small project, and then it kind of just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, they kept adding things to it, and do this too, and do this too. And so it kind of, blossomed into this big thing. But, when I said yes initially, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know it was such a big deal, but I'm really glad that it was something that I was able to do because we had a really great time. It was stressful, of course, but it was great.
And Brad, what did you feel when you saw her group of students performing at the Olympics?
It was amazing. Just being being in Korea for so long, being in entertainment and everything so unorganized and waiting, just to see like her put everything together in a cohesive thing, and actually it looked amazing.
Thank you.
It takes Busker months to write a 2-minute song, and she did it just in a couple weeks. This whole
orchestrating the whole. It was
so
difficult.
It's an amazing thing. Yeah,
that's really fantastic. I mean, it seems like you guys are working as a well-oiled machine. The two of you. You guys have that yin and yang going for you. What do you think are things that are similarities that you have that make you guys strong, and also differences that help keep you guys kind of grounded and strong too?
I can think of more differences than similarities.
I think that's how yin yang works. There are definitely more differences. But similarities are just the general principles of...
We value the same things?
Yeah, I have the same values of like individualness, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, our core values are the same, just simple in the individuality, but in terms of everything else,
How we function. How we function as people is completely different.
it's completely opposite.
Yeah, I'm kind of uptight and organized and responsible.
You don't seem
and
uptight here. You seem very like friendly and relaxed.
She said it. She said it.
But he's the opposite. He's just disorganized, and you know, so we kind of keep each other in check. Like, he reminds me sometimes that spontaneity is good in life, and I remind him sometimes that a little plan never hurts, you know. So that's kind of how we operate.
Yeah. The first time I met Danny, it was in like a club bar in our college town in Ohio, and it was through a friend of a friend. One of my friends was dating one of her friends, and he goes, "Let's go to the club. There's a group of girls there." I'm like, okay. So we go there, and I see them all dancing, and like we're kind of timid, and we're kind of on the dorkier side of the average college student, so we didn't dance or anything. But my friend's like, "No, these girls are okay. We can dance with them." And I thought, I don't know. So we go up and I'm like, "Hi."
I mean, that's really the first time I remember him. It's just kind of like, who's that guy standing over there staring like he wants to talk but isn't? Yeah, and then we danced, and you know, it evolved from there, but that's how we met the very first time. I think when he's drumming, he really shines. Like, I think he's really in his element. Even though he doesn't consider it like a big part of his life, I really think it personifies him.
She's probably most beautiful when she's dancing. And unlike me, she can dance completely sober, and she seems like she's being her real self, and it's really an amazing thing. Coming from America and then moving to Korea, I think the most important value is individuality. I think all cultures and all people benefit from individuality. If you can just be yourself and just be honest with yourself, most things will work themselves out.
The most important value, I think, would be education. I highly value education. I think I'm really lucky to have been able to get the undergraduate education that I received, and then also receive, you know, my graduate education. And I can't imagine what kind of a person I would be if I hadn't. And when I see people who aren't that lucky, I really think it's an unfortunate event that I think everybody should be receiving a great education.
Now, you guys look really healthy. You're a beautiful couple, individually handsome, beautiful. You also seem to be really in shape. And I'm guessing that it's a conscious effort to be healthy and in shape. What do you guys do to look and radiate this sense of health?
Well, like, one of our main principles that we share is being a vegetarian. We both really value animal life, and so we made that choice together to be vegetarians.
I see.
So that really helps in terms of our healthiness.
I mean, hasn't that been difficult by being in Korea? I mean, we're, definitely a lot of vegetables and side dishes that are all root vegetables and things, kimchi and so on. But we have a lot of, Korean barbecue, and a lot of the broths are made of beef soup and pork and whatnot.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult, and especially not knowing the language, like trying to communicate the fact that we can eat this and we can't eat this. Koreans just kind of put everything down in front of you. And especially because food is so culturally valued here, it can be really misunderstood if you, turn something down. So that was something we had to learn to communicate early on is, we're not turning this down because we don't care about your food. It's just, this is something we value as individuals. But no, it's definitely difficult. It's a hard part of our life here.
And do you do anything else for kind of your health? Do you guys go work out? I know you ice skate.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to the Korean kind of jjimjilbangs or the saunas?
Yes, we do. We go to the jjimjilbangs. We also work out, and then we also take wheatgrass shots daily.
Wheatgrass. Ah.
Yeah, we get that. Like I was saying about the produce, it's great because I mean, they have the farms, and they give you the fresh produce, and then you can just have it delivered to your doorstep, which is great. You don't have to go anywhere to get it. So I mean, it's kind of a combination of all those things.
What was it like for you the first time you went into a Korean bathhouse? Or some of your experiences being in a bathhouse as a non-Korean? I imagine that, I mean, even when I go, people are like,
Yes, they're very curious.
Yes.
And when people are curious with their
Brad's
clothes
laughing
on,
over there. Why are you laughing?
We had heard about them. They're like, yeah, it's a bathhouse, and like foreigners like, these are, whenever you get here and like you're a newbie, although the foreigners they tell you the horror stories to try to scare you, and they go, well, there's these jjimjilbangs and everyone's naked and like everyone's like showering like this close, and sometimes they bathe each other, and I'm like, no way. But then so I was like, okay, well that's not necessarily on the bucket list that I need to do, but okay. And then one time we're visiting our friends, and we missed the last subway home, and we've been drinking a little bit, and they go, well, how about we all just go to a jjimjilbang and hang out? And I go, you know what? Let's do it. So I think just having a little bit of alcohol in the system makes it a little easier to take your clothes off that first time. But yeah, but it is nerve-wracking. I mean, but it only takes a couple times, and then
It's fine.
you just become Korean, and you're
So you're
walking
like
around.
a regular Korean now, walking around
Walking
the
around, no clothes on, yeah.
bathhouse with no clothes on.
Yeah.
Down in
Yeah.
Cheonggukjang, we had like a season pass. So like we went
So you're
like,
regulars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
We went weekly.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes more than once a week. Yeah, we we just go after work and just hang out for a couple hours at the
Yeah.
jjimjilbang. It was really nice.
So what would you say is your favorite part of one of those jjimjilbangs?
I like the hot rooms. He likes the cold rooms.
I like the cold rooms, of course. So like we go in and like we'll go into like either one of the salt rooms or the cold rooms, and then we're like, okay, I'm going to the hot. Okay, I'm going to the cold.
Oh.
And then we go to the hot and cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he likes the shike.
Like the sweet rice drink. Yeah.
All right.
So he's always out there with his big, plastic.
Big Tupperware.
Yeah, Tupperware.
with the colorful straws. Yeah. The whole 9 yards. I mean, we're completely Korean. The Koreans taught us how to make the towel hat, so like the Princess Leia ear type
Yes.
thing. And so I mean,
That's too funny.
we're completely Korean. in
Yeah,
there,
and then we sit there and we watch the big TV, even though we have no idea what's going on.
They're watching gag concerts or something.
Or we just, we're just in the semicircle with everybody else, just
Yeah.
watching TV. It's nice.
Do you have any people recognizing you when you are in these jjimjilbangs too? How does that
Yes,
work?
and that's a bit more awkward now.
Yeah. That's
Because they're not just looking at your face anymore.
They're much
They're doing the
more
whole
curious.
kind of checking
Yeah.
up and down.
And Koreans aren't shy, like, they're just not shy about, coming up to you. I mean, I've had them coming up and they're just they start petting my hair and then kind of like touching me, like, you're just very curious about, what a foreigner looks like. And it can get a little like, I need some space.
Yeah.
But, it's hard when they know who you are and they're even more interested in what's going on.
yeah.
Does it ever make you feel like you need to work out harder and
Yeah.
look better
Oh,
when you go
absolutely.
to these jjimjilbangs?
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't go as much anymore.
I mean, you guys look like you're in great shape. Like you don't have to worry too much.
Oh, yeah. But we definitely decreased our jjimjilbang visits after Superstar K. So
Oh, that's too bad. Well, hopefully you'll be able to go to your nearby jjimjilbang and still experience all the kind of sweating and
yeah, the
all of
sweating.
that.
You got to sweat, a couple times. Just get it all out there.
There you go. In addition to not only the food but the jjimjilbangs, is there any other part of Korean culture that you feel that has really become part of your lives?
I think the Korean community, the Korean family, not only has become a part of our lives, we've become a part of it.
Right.
And it's just because when we got here, we learned that they call, if a guy is a little older than you, you call him hyung, it means big
Or
brother,
oppa.
or oppa, coming from a girl, big brother, or big sister. And I was like, I thought that was really strange, because I got confused. I was like, this is your friend, they're not your brother. But like in the Korean community, that is family. And thankfully, they've accepted Danny and I into it. Because foreigners always ask, like, what's it like being in Korean entertainment? How do they treat you differently? And like, they don't treat us differently. They treat us like Koreans. And it was the same way when we were teachers. They treat us as Koreans, and it's really nice. It really makes us feel at home, you know, because they don't have to. Because in Korea they have the concept of the foreigner,
Yes.
but then they don't apply it to us so much anymore. You know what I mean?
Do you know the concept of cheong?
Mm.
How would you describe that is important in your lives?
I think just because we are, you know, here alone, we don't have family and we don't have a support structure. I mean, I think without that, I mean, we'd really feel kind of lost and alone. But, you know, once you do feel like you're part of the community, it really makes you, I mean, because like we only planned on staying for a year when we first came.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. But then we really felt like, you know, we could actually stay here. Like we feel supported enough that we could make a home here.
Wow.
So I think, you know, that was obviously
Yeah.
a big factor in being able to make that decision.
Do you feel that among your Korean friends that you're kind of fully accepted as just one of the guys, one of the girls, that you're just
Yeah.
a true family member?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you normally do with your Korean friends out and about or at home?
Yeah, just, you know, the normal things.
Yeah, basically everything that Koreans do or that, you know, we do together. Go to the jjimjilbang together, go to the movies together. Yeah. And it's so funny that that a lot of our friends are either students or just left university. So like they've been pretty busy these past couple of years studying. They take education really seriously. And so, but we've kind of been foreigners in Korea these past 5 years. So we've like found a lot of cool, not touristy things, but things that are more fun about Korea that even our Korean friends don't know about. Like, you know, going to the Blue House. Like they didn't know what the Blue House, or they didn't know you could visit the Blue House. And we're like, yeah, you can go.
The presidential palace.
Yeah, the
right?
presidential palace. Like you can go and do a tour. Like let's do it. Or, you know, like, you know, going to like the cherry blossom festivals, like it's something they didn't get to do because they're so busy studying. And so we get to take them around like all the palaces and stuff and kind of teach them like, you know, this is a war memorial. This is this
so
is when
funny.
Korea was fighting blah blah blah. And they're like, oh.
So you've become kind of ambassadors of Korea within Korea
Right.
for Koreans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it does feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. that's
Taking
true,
such an active
actually.
interest in Korea that people in Korea may not even know some of the hot spots that you know.
Right.
Very cool. Now, as one of the last questions that I'd like to ask you, what are some of your future plans and goals? I imagine that this ride, being here in Korea, has been, you know, so thrilling and really amazing. You guys are doing what you love to do. What would you like to see yourself doing in the near future?
For me, just keep playing drums. I'm currently doing some collaborations with some like DJs for like house music. So we're gonna like, you know, just try to play that. I mean, just anything involved with drumming that I can.
Right.
If I can continue drumming, then I'll be happy. Yeah. And studying Korean, we study.
Yes. That is a big part of our future.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, if we want to stay here, which we do, we need to be able to speak the language. So we've definitely increased our studying, and hopefully, because our communication is definitely lacking currently. So studying Korean.
Yeah.
So drumming, studying Korean. For me, I love the stuff I'm doing with the figure skating, and I want to keep doing that. I'd hope to make it bigger, and especially with synchronized skating, a lot of people don't know what it is. They've never seen it before. So I'm really hoping that, you know, the public can start to see that. Kim Yuna kind of brought to light the figure skating aspect of things, and now I'm hoping, you know, that we can help that the specific sport of synchronized skating get more public awareness. And yeah, and then eventually we'd like to get back into teaching. We loved teaching.
I see.
So we'd like to do that again. And maybe if we're feeling really adventurous, we'd like to open like a vegetarian business, you know, restaurant or somehow vegetarian, because I think that Koreans would really be open to the idea, you know, but it just needs to be publicized more, and they just need to have some access to it. So I think all those things, all combined into one.
Well, it seems like nothing is impossible for you guys. You guys have been able to kind of follow your dreams and follow your passions. So I don't see why you won't be able to teach in the near future and to achieve your goals, each one of you. And it certainly seems like you have your own support system with each other that you can kind of spur one another on to do what you want to do. So I definitely wish you all the best. I thank you so much for being a part of my show and being the first couple that has been just such a pleasure to work with. Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys hopefully soon
Yep.
in your own vegetarian restaurant.
Oh, I hope so. Well, yeah, we'll make you something
Thank you.
special.
Awesome. And maybe we can go to cheonggukjang afterwards
Yeah,
and sweat it all out. Awesome. Thank you guys.